Your body does not have to be perfect. It just needs to be prepared. Too many of us wait until we're the right size or the right shape to start living again. But life doesn't wait. Adventure doesn't wait. It rewards preparation, not perfection. I'm Coach Dane, and this is Fit to Explore Friday. Today, we're talking about how to get strong enough to explore. So, buckle up, listen in, grab your favorite coffee, and let's rock the day for Fit to Explore Friday. Here's the truth, my friends. Your body does not have to be perfect. It just needs to be prepared. So many, that's right, so many midlife adventurers never ever start their adventure because they think they have to get ready to get ready. They have to be the perfect weight, the perfect shape, or the perfect routine before they live again. But life doesn't wait on perfect, it rewards those that are prepared. So I want you to think for just a moment. I want you to think about the explorers of the past, those that might have thought the world was flat. They didn't wait until they had the lightest shoes or the fanciest equipment. They trained their heads, their hearts, their souls, and their bodies to handle the terrain in front of them. That's the shift I want you to grab today. Stop aiming for perfect and start aiming for prepared. Prepared to hike with the grandkids. Prepared to check something off your bucket list. Prepared to rock a half marathon. Prepared to get off the toilet by yourself for a lifetime. Prepared to climb into the attic. To be able to drop down under the sink and grab what's behind you. Or recently, we have solar panels on the roof, and an animal of some kind decided to build this gigantic, I'm talking gigantic nest. So we didn't know it was wrong. We have an app. It tells us when we're getting, the power from the sun that we need. And it said one panel didn't work. So the tech team comes out and they're like, look up there. I never even had thought about looking between the roof pitch and the solar panels. I don't know, a couple inches, 4 inches maybe. There's this giant freaking nest, right? So we had to be prepared. We had to be ready. We had to take action. We weren't perfect. We didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know how to get it out there. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. We just knew it had to come down. So I had to be prepared to climb up the ladder, to be safe, to not fall down, to not go boom. That's functional fitness. That's what midlife adventurers are aiming for, striving for. If you want to go do a 5K, 10K, half marathon, ultra, Spartan, mud run, knock it out of the park. And I think we should do those kind of things. I think we can create our own. And that's what we do in our Fit to Explore experiences. Because it's not about aesthetics. It's about being adventure ready, whatever life is. And actually, earlier today, sometimes in my Trailblazer Nation, and that is my premium community, right? Today, at the very end, I'm going to invite you to join the Trailblazer tribe. That's the initial step, the first step, the community that gets you ready to go into our premium community. And you'll find it in the show notes, a link, and come join us. We'll talk about that later. So oftentimes I talk to the Trailblazers, I lead community coaching calls. I was talking to Trailblazer Jill, and I said, Jill, I didn't call her Trailblazer Jill. I want you to imagine the woman you'll be at 85 years old. What does that look like? Is she vibrant? Is she alive? Is she running, jumping, playing, maybe pushing her grandkids, great grandkids? Is she able to use the bathroom by herself without aid, getting dressed by herself, no oxygen, no walker? What does that look like? Or is that woman feeble? Is she in a nursing home? Is she unable to care for herself or live by herself? And the woman you see, you plant the seeds for adventure today. That's what being a midlife adventure is about. So in that red light shout out, I said, for me, I'm going to be carrying with a backpack, which is what I carry. Very seldom do we check bags when we travel, even when we go on long trips like we're going to Ireland here soon in 2025. I'm going to be walking at 85 years old through the airport. I'm going to maybe board first because they say the elderly, whatever that is, can board first. I'm going to take advantage of that. But I'm also going to open up the bin above my seat and I'm going to put my own bag in there. That's right. Or I'll be traveling on my own private jet. That's midlife adventure. That's seeing the future because it's not about aesthetics. It's about being adventure ready. Are you ready to be adventure ready? Because I have to tell you about a trailblazer on the rise who's 100% adventure ready. He's always ready for an adventure, whether it's getting on an airplane, whether there's a long road trip. It doesn't matter because Bob is always adventure ready. So today's trailblazer on the rise is who we have affectionately coined the Lord of Logistics, LOL. Bob earned that nickname, LOL, Lord of Logistics, in Italy. We decided that we wanted to try public transportation, not Uber, not Lyft, whatever their version of it is, not a taxi. We had a villa, exit the villa, go through the gate, take a right, walk up the street, bus stop, bam. So the day before we did this adventure, Bob and I walked up the street and we just looked at the schedule. And now it may have been in Italian, but we know what the times are the same because they're numbers. And sure enough, at 4:04, bam, the bus came by. I'm like, they're on time. We stayed for the next one. It's like 4:12, bam, it's on time. Like, we want to try that. So we go out that next morning. We have the time. We wait along the roadside. And by the way, there's very little room between the brick fence, little bitty piece of grass, white line, and the bus stop sign, and the buses and the cars going by. But we did it. We were safe. The bus comes. Sweet. We get on the bus. We use our little card, like a credit card, to pay for it. And then we get off the bus and we start looking around. Then we want to take the bus to the next place and obviously get back. Well, Bob says, I can do it. And sure enough, he became the Lord of Logistics. Where do we need to be? What time do we need to be there? How do we communicate with somebody who doesn't speak English as their primary language? So Bob walks up to this woman, starts to talk. She kind of shrugs, doesn't really understand. But they were able to communicate, get us on the right bus. We went to where we wanted to go. We ended back at the villa for dinner that night. That's what the Lord of Logistics does. But Bob is the guy who shows up even without knowing all the details, all the rules. He just wants to know where to be, when to be, and how to start. He doesn't obsess over the new gadget or waiting for everything to line up. He focuses on being steady, consistent, and ready every day. He just takes that selfie high five because every morning at 4 a.m. Central Standard Time in our private community, which by the way is not on Facebook, Bob shares his high five, and it's just to say good morning. And I ask every one of the Trailblazers to do that. Because Bob, 100%, yes, he's a granddad. Yes, he's retired military, but he's training for real life. So if you're listening to this, the first Friday of September 2025, Bob, his wife Rebecca, myself, and my wife Tanya are all preparing for a Fit to Explore experience in Ireland. We're going to spend 11 days from Dublin to Dingle. Bob's like, I'll drive. I know the steering wheel's on the wrong side. I know I'll drive on the wrong side. Been there, done that. I'm ready to go. And he's showing and leading that you don't have to be the strongest or the fastest. You just have to be strong enough with the right mindset to be the trailblazer on the rise. Bob, we see you. We're proud to call you a trailblazer, proud to call you a friend. We cannot see where your next Fit to Explore experience takes you. All right. So we talked about not being perfect. We talked about being mission ready. And we've talked about Fit to Explore experiences. We talked about the Lord of Logistics, Bob. But here's the lesson I want you to take from today. Being strong enough to explore is what we call functional fitness, the kind of strength that shows up every day. The strength to carry your groceries without pain, to twist, to turn, to reach, to climb without pain. Because it no longer matters how fast you or I can run to first base. What matters is that we can do what we want, when we want, without ever thinking about it. Getting through a tough week, a long week, a week with steps and climbs and just changes in the scenery. When you stop chasing perfect and start training for prepared, you unlock freedom. Freedom to say yes at every opportunity. Freedom to walk 42 blocks in New York City without ever thinking about it and having the person you meet be, that was 42 blocks. You're like, that was only a couple miles. That's a true story of Tanya and I many years ago in New York City. We want you to not sit out life. We want you to be a leader in life. So here's how you can begin or enhance your Fit to Explore Friday. 3 steps, pun intended, to raise the bar. Assess your baseline. So many times people are going to say 10,000 steps. And by the way, 10,000 steps was a marketing program in the 1964 Tokyo Olympics. There's no science between 10,000 steps. Now, 10,000 steps is a great mark. The research says anywhere between 5,000 and 8,000 steps to improve your quality of life. With that, I'm going to ask you, can you limit your sitting to 23 and a half hours a day? Can you limit your sitting to 23 and a half hours a day? That means you'll move your body at least 30 minutes every single day. But first, you must assess your baseline. Take stock as to where you are right now. Can you walk 10 minutes without stopping? Can you carry a bag of groceries without fatigue? Start there. Can you walk for 10 minutes without being winded? Can you carry a bag of groceries without getting winded? Start there. Pick one adventure goal. So Trailblazer Jill, who just started about 2.5 weeks ago, be 3.5 weeks when you're hearing this. She wants to cross the Harbor Bridge in Corpus Christi, Texas, 4.4 miles round trip. And she set her sights on doing that before the end of 2025. Stay tuned, and I'll let you know how Jill does. And I'm going to go down to Corpus Christi, Texas to do it right with her. That's her adventure goal. What's your adventure goal? Don't just chase fitness in general. Have a reason, like a little carrot, right? Something that's out there. Pick something real like the Harbor Bridge. Hike a trail. Go on a ruck. Carry more weight on a ruck. Attempt a 5K. Attempt 1 mile faster than you've ever done it before. Go longer than you've ever done it before. Play with the grandkids all day on the swing, on the playground, in the sandbox. What does that look like? Let that be your North Star. Pick the goal, train for the goal, and then pick the next goal. So you always have something to work for. Utilize the 10% rule. It's the same way my dad used to tell me, and I would, as a young man, I'd say, Dad, how much money do you need to live? It might be 50,000, it might be 2 million, it might be 10 million. But really, he would say it's always 10% more than you have. We always want a little bit nicer, a little bit better. So when it comes to health, fitness, functional health, we want a little bit more, a little bit better. Because as we age, sometimes things diminish, whether it's cognitive skills, whether it's motor skills, whether it's strength. But if we add and we push for 10% more, 10% longer walk, 10% heavier lift, add 1 more session a week, right? Go 10% longer. So if it's 1,000 steps a day you're doing, can you go 1,100? If you're doing 8,000, can you go 8,800? What does that look like? If you're lifting 20 pounds, can you do a couple more reps? Because it's almost impossible to lift 22 pounds just if you're buying dumbbells. A little bit more. Small increases compound into big wins, especially when you're looking for that adventure goal, the 5K, the 10K, chasing the kids, going over the Harbor Bridge. What does that look like? Hiking from Porto, Portugal to the Camino de Santiago next September. That's a Fit to Explore experience that we will be talking about soon. A little bit more. So where are you? That's your baseline. And again, if you are not capable of walking 10 minutes without stopping, start with 1 minute. That's 60 seconds. Then you know what? The next day, try 66 seconds. That's 10% more. That's where it starts. Find that adventure goal. Not sure where to start any of this? Just shoot me an email at dane@daneboyle.com and I will walk you through it. And together we'll pick that adventure goal. We'll set your baseline and I will help you achieve and assess what 10% more looks like. It makes it doable for beginners. It challenges you to level up if you're already there. So if you're already doing 60-minute rucks twice a week, Trailblazer, Stacy, and you're already going on those long rucks or long runs on the weekends, what's a little bit more, a little bit more? And every now and then it's okay to back off and relax too. We'll talk about that as well. Your Fit to Explore Friday challenge of the week. I'm going to take a quick sip. Cheers, pro salancha. Your challenge of the week, should you choose to accept it, pick one adventure you'd like to say yes to. Again, could it be a hike, a trip, or keeping up with the grandkids? Then ask yourself, is what I'm doing now preparing me for that? What you're doing now is really setting you up for success 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. If the answer is no, think big, start small. Add 1 walk, 1 ruck, 1 strength session this week with that adventure in mind. Now, when you have that adventure, write it down on a Post-it. If I had Post-it, here you go. I do have Post-its. Grab a Post-it, write it down. What is it? This is your Fit to Explore experience. This is your adventure. This is your challenge of the week. This is what's going to get you up, get you out, and get you going and moving with that adventure goal. Remember, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be prepared. You just need to start one lift, one rep, one ruck at a time. I would love to cheer you on. Again, super simple. What we love in the Trailblazer tribe and the Trailblazer Nation are people that take action. Choose your adventure goal. Email it to me. I promise I'll be the one that returns that email and cheers you on along the way. What is your adventure goal this week? And if you're ready to surround yourself with people like Bob, midlife adventurers who are building strength, preparing their bodies, and stepping into what's next, come join us inside the free Trailblazer tribe. It is a brand new community. And inside the Trailblazer tribe, you're going to step into the tribe. And when you're ready, you go all in. You'll join us in the Trailblazer Nation. I'm telling you right now, that's my mission, vision, and purpose, is to get you to become a member of the Trailblazer Nation. I will give away things. I will support you. I will coach you, because even if you never come into the Trailblazer Nation, because my mission, vision, and purpose is to ignite life and spark a healthy revolution. And know the only way to do it is to get you to get involved, to choose your adventure, to be healthy enough to do what you want, when you want, without thought, to stay independent and healthy for a lifetime. Those are the things we're talking about inside the Trailblazer tribe. Go ahead and check the show notes. You'll see the link. I'll be checking daily to let you in and welcome you. All right, here are just a few things off the top of my head. And I will get feedback from you and all those in the Trailblazer tribe to make sure there's value. Weekly inspiration to help you prepare for life's adventures. Stories from people who've been in the tribe and are now in the Trailblazer Nation, just like Bob. We're going to talk about mindset, movement, meals, mission to help you feel strong right now and for healthier, happier tomorrow. And a community that cheers you on while you build your next chapter. That's the Trailblazer tribe. So my friends, step into the tribe today. Check the show notes to join us. And when you do, what's the best that can happen? So we can cheer you on as you choose and chase your next adventure. Remember, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be prepared. See you next Friday.